Hi, thanks for joining me today. Today's video was inspired by a project that I saw Sarah Douglas show at the Onstage Local back in Salt Lake City back in November, and she made a Valentine card that, well, it didn't look similar to this at all. Basically had the same function, and that is that it's kind of what I call a fun fold. I don't have a name for it yet, but by the time I print this video up, by the time I publish this video, I will have a name for this technique. But in any case, this folds in and pops out there. It's like a keyhole thing. Maybe that's what I'll call it. We'll see what I end up calling it. But this is the card that I'm going to show you how to make today. So let's get started. Leave that over here so you get a sense of what I'm doing. I'm using a paper that is from the Current Occasions catalog called the Sweet Soiree Specialty Designer Series paper. And the paper is 12 by 12. You get 12 sheets of 12 by 12. It's double-sided, as you can see here, but one of the sides, I think you can tell here, has this beautiful silver foil to it. It's really, really nice paper, and it's got a lot of different patterns. I have cut up a lot of this paper because I was making these cards here, and I wanted to use a lot of the floral print. So these are my sort of my favorite in the whole pack. Are these beautiful? I think you can see a little bit of that shimmer there. The floral. The other side is fine. It's fine. But you'll never use that when you've got this option, will you? Okay, so let's put the card together. The card that I made, I wanted the butterfly to be right in the middle of it, which involved a little bit of math. So I'll give you the measurements that I used, and then in the end I will talk to you about how none of that really matters because you don't really have to have it in the middle. So the base card that I'm using started off as a 5.5 by 6.5, so 5.5 by 6.5, and I'm folding that right in half. And then the piece of designer paper that I'm going to put on, I think I'm going to go with this one here, the Razzleberry. This piece here is 3 by 5.25. So the nice thing about that is on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you actually are able to get 8 of these out of one sheet of paper. I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue, or as I refer to it, my green glue, not green at all. And what I would recommend is that you add your adhesive just around the outside of it, not right in the middle here. Because this is an all over floral pattern, doesn't matter which direction it goes in, and I'm just going to adhere that down there and set it aside for a minute just to kind of set up a little bit. So I'm using a 2-inch circle punch, and I'll show you why I'm using a 2-inch circle punch in a minute, but I'm going to use a 2-inch circle punch for the center of my what I'm attaching the butterfly on top of. I was looking for just kind of an all-over floral, some kind of pattern to take away from just being a little bit too white. So I'm using the floral pattern that is from the stamp set called Lovely Wishes, just to add a little bit of something in the background to make it not quite so flat. And I'm using powder pink on powder pink paper. And then once I have stamped that, I'm going to fold it right down the center. Give it a nice tight crease there and set that aside. At this point, this should be pretty well set up, so I'm ready to go with this here. I'm using the punch that is in the big annual catalog, and it's called something like Everyday Word Punch or something like that. I'm sure by the time I've published this video, I have figured it out and you're reading it now. In any case, this punch is 2 1/8 inches from end to end. The image that I'm putting inside, or the actual circle punch that I'm putting inside it, is 2 inches. So it's just slightly smaller than the actual 2 1/8 inches here. Whatever you choose to use to do this, you want something that is fairly close to the same size. If you use something like a 1-inch punch or anything smaller than the 2 inches, a lot of your background shows and it just doesn't have the same effect. So I'm going with this punch here. All right, as I said, I wanted my butterfly to be right in the center. So I did the math for it, and this works perfectly. If you take this punch and stick it in as far as it goes, this will come out right in the center. So you're going to stick it in till you can see on the side here it's in as far as it goes, approximately in the center there, and then punch that out. Now you've got your little keyhole right in the center. The rest of this, so quick to come together. This piece that we folded right in half here, along the seam, I'm going to use a little bit of green glue here, right along the outside, and then keeping the card closed like this, you're just going to hold it until you feel it kind of set up. It doesn't take long. It'll set up pretty quickly. Okay, so while that's there, then I'm going to come over and grab my butterfly and figure out which color butterfly I want. I previously cut out, this is from the Bold Butterfly thinlets, and I used Marina Mist or the Rich Raspberry. And I think I'm probably going to go with the Marina Mist, because I feel like it pops a little bit more pulling in these colors here. But the choice is yours, whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to go with the Marina Mist. Okay, so we have these brand new, adorable, little, tiny dimensionals. They work perfectly on the back side of your butterfly. No need to have to fussy cut that. Fits there perfectly. And that's going to go right in the center of this 2-inch circle. And then you're just going to kind of fold it up to show it who's boss. And it kind of has this nice dimension to it where it's sitting up a little bit higher and butterfly looks even more alive. Okay, to finish the card off, I'm going to go back to the same stamp set that I told you we were using before, Lovely Wishes. Previously I used this image here. Right now I'm going to use You Are One of a Kind. And I have a 1/4-inch piece of white, kind of scrap white cardstock. And I'm using the Berry Burst ink. And I'm going to stamp that. And nope. It happens, people. It happens. Okay. Really? Really? One more time. 3rd time's a charm. It's going to be perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Set that aside. I'm going to just give it a little flag tail here. I don't know what you call this. Dragon tongue? Something like that. Flag tip? I don't know. That thing. That's what I'm going to do to it. And then use my green glue and just glue that down. Boom. Done. All right, that's it.